This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Stacy Jensen. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. News is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
We hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Thanks for joining us here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio.
I'm Stacy Jensen. It's Monday, May 9th.
Well, one officer with the Nye County Sheriff's Office says he was struck in the face following a police pursuit this morning here in town. 3 people were arrested following a police pursuit near Barney Street this morning. The suspect vehicle drove to a home on Van Lane. That is where the pursuit ended, with Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies closely following. The individuals, police say, failed to yield to officers beginning on Highway 372 and Blagg Road. The driver, they say, is a known suspect who recently was arrested near the main post office on Postal Road, who was fighting with the officers. Once again, he resisted arrest, assaulting one officer while being detained. The suspect, who claims to be a sovereign citizen, was transported to Desert View Hospital, claiming injuries as a result of the scuffle with police. All 3 individuals arrested had outstanding warrants.
And strong winds fanned what started out as a small brush fire Sunday afternoon in Pahrump and quickly spreading flames to the former Charleston Pizza on Charleston Park and David Street. Pahrump Valley Chief Scott Lewis explains what happened.
We were dispatched a report of a small brush fire. As crews were responding, they were notified that the fire was quickly growing. It had extended to a power pole and also had jumped or leapt over a block wall and was heading towards a small commercial structure that was no longer in service. As the Engine 1 unit arrived, they in fact confirmed the fire as described. They found a working power pole fire, a brush fire going around the corner, and they also found fire up to and going inside the older commercial structure. So they retoned the assignment for a building fire and brought a full first alarm structure assignment. Crews made great progress. They extinguished the fire, the ground cover fire. Valley Electric responded and assisted with the suppression of the power pole. And then crews moved to the interior and quickly halted the fire to an exterior wall. So not much damage to the structure, and the ground cover fire was just around the block itself. We were experiencing at least 40-mile-an-hour winds sustained, and quickly blew that small brush fire up very, very rapidly. And so we want to be mindful of those kind of conditions because we're still going to have some breezes through the next several days. We've been talking a lot about fireworks. We have had our first brush fire related to fireworks this past weekend, and it left the property of origin, went onto a neighbor's property instead of brush fire. So we're people will be mindful, especially with conditions, how dry we are. We're in extreme drought. We're probably in the most extreme drought that we've had for quite a while now. Everything is super dry, and any ignition sources are, as we experienced over the weekend, are igniting these brush fires, and this could potentially lead to structure fires like we just had yesterday.
And Chief Lewis says a burn moratorium starts next week. That means absolutely no burning of anything outside. In other words, no burn barrels, no controlled burning, no type of fire whatsoever outdoors.
The Desert View Hospital as a result of injuries they received in a 2-vehicle crash this afternoon near the Pahrump Walmart.
Traffic came to a standstill just before 3:30 Monday afternoon after 2 vehicles collided at the intersection of State Route 160 and Yellow Hand Avenue in Pahrump. One person was transported to the local hospital by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Ambulance. No one else claimed any serious injuries. Both vehicles were heavily damaged. The impact caused fluid, presumably radiator coolant, to leak from both vehicles. Firefighters used an absorbent material to soak up those spills. The Nye County Sheriff's Office assisted with traffic control at the scene. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of the crash.
And one rider was taken to Desert View Hospital following a weekend crash on Basin Avenue.
Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, and Nye County Sheriff's Office auxiliary units were dispatched to the area of Linda Street and Basin Avenue on Saturday morning for a report of a vehicle versus bicycle crash. The rider of the bike was transported by ground ambulance to Desert View Hospital. Involved in the crash was a red pickup truck carrying a tractor on a trailer. The extent of injuries to the bike rider are unknown at this time. No one inside the truck claimed any injuries at the time of the crash. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are investigating. And Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue, and auxiliary units responded to an ATV versus fence crash over the weekend. That happened on Leslie Street near Ann's Road. That rider was medically evaluated on scene and subsequently transported to Desert View Hospital with injuries. News 25 will return right after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920.
And welcome back. Nye County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in locating a 14-year-old Pahrump girl that has been reportedly ran away from home. Delaney LeBron, whose nickname is Nanny, was last seen leaving school on May 6. Delaney is approximately 5'5" with black hair and brown eyes. Delaney was last seen wearing black pants, a white t-shirt with a purple butterfly on it, and clear rimmed glasses that you see here in the photo. If you have any information, please call Nye County Sheriff's Office at 775-751-7000, and you can remain anonymous.
And the town of Tonopah is reporting that they will not be able to open their community pool this year. And that depends on if they get applicants to fill the positions necessary to run that pool. For safety reasons, the town is required to have a certain number of qualified lifeguards on duty at all times and a supervisor to oversee the operation of the facility. They say if they receive additional job applications prior to May 20th, and if those applicants successfully pass the lifeguard test, the town will reconsider this decision. The pool supervisor and office assistant position are not required to be certified lifeguards, but must have or be willing to obtain a CPR certification. If you would like to help out this summer so that they can open their pool, please contact Becky Braska. Her number, 775-482-6336. That's 775-482-6336. And you can also complete an application online at tonopahnevada.com, job listings. You can also return that to their town office at 140 South Main Street as soon as possible. And if you missed any of that, you can go to KPVM's Facebook page.
And another discovery of human remains at Lake Mead has got visitors worried about what they're going to come across as the water levels sink. A week after a body was found in a deteriorated barrel on the lake shore, another discovery at the lake has been found. The cause of death is unknown at this time, but authorities do not believe this is a homicide case like the earlier one. The first discovery made last Sunday was determined to be decades-old murder. The descendant suffered a gunshot wound. Both sets of remains are at the Clark County Coroner's Office pending identification.
And the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is announcing a new program to help veterans manage their money. It's called the Veterans Benefit Banking Program. Charles Tapp II is the Chief Financial Officer for the Veterans Benefits Administration, which is part of the Department of Veterans Affairs. He says the program is designed to help veterans in receiving their VA compensation faster, safer, and with fewer fees. And a big part of that decision is direct deposit.
There was about 180,000 people who were receiving their benefits on a monthly basis via check. And over the last 2.5 years, we've been able to see 145,000 of those people convert to traditional bank accounts. Now, we do have generate new payments every day. So we're constantly seeing more and more check recipients, so we're constantly having those discussions. But yes, we have historically seen veterans and their families using same-day cash checking operations and or paying at a bank to have their funds remitted to them by way of check. When veterans receive a check, those are more susceptible to being lost or stolen or manipulated in some way, shape, or form. And also during national disasters, hurricanes and tornadoes, it's tough to be able to get veterans their funds if they're displaced. So when they get access to a direct deposit account via a bank account or a credit union, it certainly provides them the ability to be safer, to get their benefits on time. And if there are instances of fraud, it allows those to be investigated quickly, and many times veterans are made whole within hours of reporting a fraud instance.
Is direct deposit the best way to go?
Absolutely, without question. Not only is it the law in terms of people receiving their benefit payments via direct deposit, it certainly, again, is safer. It's more cost effective for our veterans. And with a bank account, it also provides them access to financial tools and financial counseling and education that traditional banks and credit unions often provide.
And then how can you help people build wealth to build up that savings?
Well, I think for us, it's really around educating our veterans and their beneficiaries about the tools that are available through banks and credit unions. And again, with the financial education that each of the members of the Veterans Benefits Banking Program are committed to, addition to financial counseling that's available and credit counseling, it allows us to be able to talk about those tools that will help veterans and their beneficiaries become financially independent, and also how to accumulate and protect their wealth.
Do you find that in general a lot of veterans have debt and or money problems?
They can, and I think they're no different than everyday Americans, who haven't served. I think we're still susceptible to the same challenges and issues. But again, with that education and then the tools to use to protect themselves financially, it certainly puts them on a path to be, again, more financially independent.
Anything else you'd like to add? And most importantly, how can people learn more?
If you want more information about the Veterans Benefits Banking Program, you can go to veteransbenefitsbanking.org, and there's information about not only the program, but also information about the 40 banks and credit unions that participate in the program. And also, if you have questions and you want to talk to someone, you can always call to the National Call Center at 1-800-827-1000, and one of our call center representatives will be more than happy to provide insights and information and to help you through the process.
And we'll be back with more local news and our Save a Pet with Darby and Nola right after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
And welcome back. Many people who've recovered from COVID-19 are still dealing with long-term complications from the virus. Their symptoms are wide-ranging, but one of the more common issues reported involves difficulties with sleep.
Sleep disorders are one of the commonest symptoms that nowadays our patients who suffer from acute infection are having these days. So, and mainly that what we are finding is that they complain of insomnia, fatigue, also brain fog. A lot of them complain about this. And also we see sometimes circadian rhythm disorders.
Dr. Cynthia Pena is a sleep specialist for Cleveland Clinic. She says circadian rhythm disorders occur when a person's internal clock is out of sync with their environment. As a result, they may suffer from insomnia, daytime sleepiness, difficulty waking up, depression, and stress in relationships. Dr. Pena says they don't know why some COVID long haulers are experiencing sleep-related issues. That is something researchers are still trying to understand. They also aren't sure how long those symptoms could persist for. However, the good news is they are treatable.
This is just from my personal experience that those patients that were seen a year ago in our clinic, some of them that are already after 10, 12 months of treatment, I can see some of them are improving their sleep issues, but there is no exact data or the literature hasn't revealed for how long these symptoms are going to last.
Dr. Pena says if you've recovered from COVID-19 and are dealing with ongoing sleep issues, be sure to consult with your physician. Sleep plays an important role in a person's health.
Well, if you're thinking about adding a pet to your family, we hope you will consider adoption. For today's Save a Pet, we're back at Desert Haven, where we meet Nola.
Today's Save a Pet segment is made possible by Realty Executives in Action. Put the team at Realty Executives in action for you.
Hi, I'm Dory here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Nala. Nala is this beautiful female American Staffordshire Terrier mix. Gorgeous coloring, very interesting actually. She is this brown color, but she has these like spots but they're not super duper distinguished colors. It's like a darker brown, a little bit of a lighter brown, and then like a tan. Very, very beautiful, almost like a brindled color. Super duper pretty eyes. She has like this one white mark in one of them. It's very interesting to look at. She is a little bit shy at first, but once she goes and gets to know you, she definitely warms up and will be such a love bug. If you want to come and see Nala or any of her friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, you can give them a call at 775-751-7020. You can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. And Nala just wants to remind everyone they're now open 7 days a week for adoptions.
Nola was so cute. Well, when you're hiring pros to help with some home projects, it's important to think about how much everything will cost and how you will pay for them. In today's Ask Angie segment, Bailey Carson discusses the different ways to pay your pros and how to decide what's right for you and your project.
While it's not uncommon to deal in cash when working with skilled trades pros, it's important to consider other options for paying your pros. Bailey Carson, a home care expert at Angie, is here to talk about the pros and cons of the different ways to pay for your next home project, including some advice on when to tip.
Before we talk about how to pay your pros, let's first talk about when. You never want to pay the complete cost before the job is done. It's very normal to ask for a deposit or down payment, and this could be up to 1/3 of the cost. However, demanding full payment in advance is definitely a red flag.
Once you and your pro have agreed on a deposit amount, make sure you understand their payment schedule and what forms of payment they accept. You might want to reconsider if they only accept cash or debit cards, or if they refuse to provide a receipt of payment.
Checks, wire transfers, and credit cards are all great ways to pay. They give you proof of payment and can make you more comfortable than paying with cash. However, there can be fees associated with different payment methods, so be sure to ask about that before you commit to one.
Cash and accounting apps like PayPal and Venmo are becoming extremely popular ways to pay for both goods and services and tend to come with protection for the payer. However, not all contractors and pros are on board quite yet, so be sure to ask before making any assumptions.
Depending on how you booked your project, you may have options like Angie Pay. This is a secure, easy, and fast way to get your project paid for, and also offers the happiness guarantee, including limited damage protection. Also, your pro may offer options like book now and pay later, or even to finance over time. These can ultimately give you flexibility and help you save over time.
Outside of the contract, it's not always clear whether a tip is expected. In general, tips are not necessary for contractors or skilled trades pros because the contract should fairly cover their work. However, a tip is a nice gesture to thank your pro for doing an exceptional job. If your pros are prompt, professional, and deliver high-quality work, a tip can be a great way to reward them for taking good care of your home.
How much you tip and whether you tip is totally up to you. If workers can't accept a tip or you're not comfortable offering cash, another great way to show your appreciation would be through offering a snack or a drink while they're on the job. A 5-star review is also never underappreciated.
Do you have questions about your home projects? Tweet them using hashtag AskingAngie. That's hashtag AskingAngie, and you may get some tips in an upcoming segment.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
I'm telling you, those winds were crazy.
And it's still going to be windy. John's going to have a full update on your weather forecast coming up right after this.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Lovely to see you on a Monday. Glad we all made it back after the weekend, made it to our places. Let's take a look at this weather map. It's kind of crazy up in Fernley, Fallon, and Carson City. Mid and upper 40s. However, they're all under an advisory for further wind. They're going to have some rain, some snow, some slush. It's coming at them for the next 3-4 days, so it's going to be interesting times up north as we head south. Gets a little kinder. Tonopah 55, 58 in Goldfield. Badian 67, 72 in Amargosa. Sounds just about right. But Las Vegas beat us all. 76 degrees. You're the big winner today. And out in Death Valley, it's feeling actually like a beautiful day. 84 degrees. That's all you got for us, Death Valley? All right. Here in the paradise of Probe, let's take a look. 70 degrees. That's our current temperature. That was also today's high. The wind blowing out us out of the south-southwest all day long at 21 miles per hour. Sun rose this morning in all its glory and hope and promise for the new day at 5:42. And all that hope extinguishes at 7:38 promptly this evening. We're heading down to low tonight at 47 degrees. Those winds continue to blow at 19 miles per hour. That's a pretty good clip. I mean, it keeps the wind chimes rocking out on the back deck as we head on into the week. What do we see? Yeah, lots of wind for the next couple days. And then look, the wind dies down Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Look at these temperatures. 97 degrees is where we'll peak out at the week on Sunday. The winds return just a little bit, but it looks like we're going to get a pretty nice Thursday, Friday, Saturday out of it. Clear skies and beautiful temperatures in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Sounds like a radio station, don't you think? Almost. Hey, back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
It was a bit of a wild weekend, not just with the wind, but with a lot of the events. And we do have a couple other events that happened over the weekend that we will be reporting on as well on tomorrow night's broadcast, including a structure fire and another accident. Be careful out there, guys.
No doubt.
I couldn't even open my door with the wind on Monday.
But I did have to say, so Saturday I was out helping the Rotary Club with their book drive.
Yes.
They raised over 4,000 books.
Yes. Yeah.
4,000
Fantastic.
Books. Good job, guys.
Love being part of the Rotary Club. Thanks so much, guys, for being out there, and Eddie Williams and making sure, and Stacy is making sure we were doing posts to get everybody out there.
Get there.
Fantastic. Good job.
So it was good.
All right. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Deanna.
I'm Stacy Jensen.
Good night.